Hey guys, welcome to the Crypto Corner. What I want to talk about today is basically the state of Bitcoin and crypto in general and where I think we may be heading. There's a lot of uncertainty what's going on right now with us pretty much flatlining here in the past few weeks. It was much like the time when we were at 6K. We just kind of flatlined in this area. No one really knew what was about to happen until we had a major sell-off. Then everybody said, well, the bottom's not in, we're going to bounce and come up. No one really knew what was happening. So what I hope to do is maybe shed a little bit of light on my perspective on what I think is going to happen. I'm not a financial advisor, so please take my opinion with a grain of salt and do as you wish, but this is my personal opinion. So as you can see, everybody knows this chart. This is the Bitcoin chart. We had a massive downtrend start back around the middle of December, and we're still in a massive bear market. There's no arguments about that, and I don't think anybody can argue that. But what's interesting about this chart is you can see this downtrend line that came down through here. We broke through this downtrend back around July. Came up and everybody thought that was it. We got about 8,300. We sold off, and then we consolidated out there for the remainder of through November. Then we sold off, and we came down. And what's interesting is we bounced right off that trend line. So that same trend line, we bounced right off of it. So what's interesting to me is now we're using that same trend line as support. So that's kind of interesting. That's something to keep in the back of your mind, is could we be using this trend line now as support? Now we're currently fighting this 50 EMA, so that's kind of holding us down a little bit. RSI is right in the middle, so there's plenty of opportunities to go up or down here. So what I see happening right now, which is pretty interesting, is I see a pennant forming on Bitcoin. You got your top line there, and you got your second line forming right here. Okay, so if we zoom in here, you can see how this is shaping up. These lines may not be exactly perfect, but they're pretty close. So we have a bearish pennant forming, and for some of you that may not know what the bearish pennant is, it's when you have a downfall or the flag of the pennant come down and bounce along in this channel that's not really up or down. It's kind of right in the middle. Typically, and I say typically, bearish pennants form and they fall down. Okay, so I believe this is what we're looking at right now, is a bearish pennant pattern. You can see the similarities there. See, we have the flagpole coming down, and then we have this forming inside here. Does that make sense? I believe this is what we're looking at. Now, typically, price action will fall down. Okay, so that's a very real possibility. So if we do fall below that, what we would probably take as a measurement of here for the flagpole, call it about 28%. So if we broke from here, 28% down would put us in the neighborhood of 2,600 if we broke down from here, if this pattern holds true. So that's a very real possibility. Okay, and I'm going to try to give a couple of different possibilities, just kind of expand people's minds. There's no one really knows what's going to happen in these markets. I mean, that's the one thing that I have learned about crypto, is that when you think you know what's about to happen, you don't. You'll be surprised the next morning when you wake up and you see things have fallen or gained 30% or lost 30%, and no one really saw it coming. So the best thing you can try to do is kind of look at the options, listen to everybody's side. Try not to only listen to and align your, try to only listen to people that you agree with, okay? Listen to other people out there that have different points of view and listen to their talking points. You may not agree with them, but you need to at least listen to what they're saying and try to make the best decision for yourself based on the information you've been given from other people, channels, podcasts, whatever the case may be. So these are this is one option. We're going to fall down through here. We could consolidate out a little bit, and we could further capitulate. One theory is that this selling back from 6K was not our capitulation back in late November. Very real possibility. Some people are saying, "Oh, this is just panic selling." You know, nothing. The 6K mark was not going anywhere, and this is just panic selling. Okay, very good possibility. And some people say, no, we're going to fall further to the 2K range, 1800 to 2K, 2200, in that range. Very, very real possibility. Okay, and if you look at the levels over here, it actually lines up with the levels pretty nicely. If you agree with that stance. Okay, so right here, we are holding this level right here. This level here, where we fell down to originally, lined up with over here. Okay, so this was our level that we gained back in around September 14th of last year. So then the next level down, there's some congestion here, so this could be considered a level, this 2,500 mark. But the next real level down would be this $1,800, $1,900 level right in through here. It was our high here, so it acted as resistance, and we gained it. It then served as support. So we could realistically, we could fall down through here and eventually make our way down to this $1,900 level, or possibly, anywhere in between there. Very real possibility. So that's one thing to think about. There are other people out there that are saying, no, we have already capitulated. Also, another very real possibility. They're saying that this is the capitulation. Okay, well, let's take a look at that. The one thing that's pretty interesting about that argument is if you look at this capitulation right here, or this sell-off right here, whether it be capitulation, panic selling, whatever the case may be. One thing that's pretty interesting to me is look at the RSI. For the people that aren't familiar, the RSI is kind of like a momentum. It's a relative strength index, or indicator. So it shows strength in the market. Okay. So when we sold off here, it came all the way down from 63 to 35-ish. Our RSI got all the way down to 9.63-ish. Okay, I'm going to do something here. So our RSI got down to all the way down to below 10. I'm going to put a line right there. Let's go back in time and see when else it's done that. So if we roll this chart back, and I'm not sure if this chart will even show it. This is the Coinbase chart, and it may not show it. I may have to go to another chart. Yes, we're going to go to another chart to view it. Okay, because it's not showing it. So you can see the Coinbase chart all the way back to 2015. It's never got down that low. Okay, let's look at a different chart here. This is the Bitstamp chart. It has more data on it, it has more time on it. So let's do the same thing here. Let's look at our RSI. This is when we sold all the way down to the 3,500 range. Our RSI got down to about 9. Okay, so let's mark that. And let's go all the way back. Let's look and see if anything else got close to that level. Nothing yet. So really, there's not been anything that's got down to that level. Okay? The last capitulation that we had was right here. This is January 14th-ish of 2015. Our RSI made a low of about 16 back then. Okay? So we've touched the 16 level a few times in the history of, in the past 8 years. Okay? So that is definitely something to consider. Typically, your strength in a market is the weakest right after your capitulation. So we've not even seen a level this low that we just hit back in late November since in the past, 8 years? Since 2011? So that adds some weight to the argument that we've already capitulated. It's a very real possibility. So when people say, no, we haven't capitulated yet, yes, we have. I don't think there's enough. I don't think there's enough argument either way to say yes, we are there, or no, we're not there. Me personally, I think we're going to sell off further, and we're going to come down to this area right here, this 1800 mark. That's me personally. Now, I very well could be wrong, but I think one of the reasons why I say that is because if you go back to this chart here, if we have capitulated, we have not seen the volume pick up as much as it needed to, to indicate that the bear market was over. Okay, so let's go back and look at this. So this is the Bitstamp chart. Let's go back to the last bear market. Bear market was here. Look at this massive volume. Let me lower this RSI a little bit. So this is a capitulation. You can see the big volume spikes, right? Huge sell-off. Then we sold off. Mediocre volume as everybody was accumulating right through here. Then what happened towards the very end? Massive volume coming in. Lots of volume, which was indicated by this larger green candle area. A lot of buying there. That looks like a bear market, and then going into a bull market. People are accumulating. Okay, it's time to buy, and then now we're out of the bear market, heading up into the bull market. You go to where we're at now. Okay, so this is us now. You can see we had a lot of sell-off, but we haven't had the volume yet to indicate that we're back. The volume's picking up. Okay, but again, if you take an average of this volume, let's call our volume is here. Look at this volume. It's nothing like we were seeing back when the bull run was starting. Look at this. Look at all this volume kind of picking up through here. I don't know, guys. I personally don't think that we're there yet. I think we're getting very close. And I believe now would not be a bad time to start buying in if you're not already in positions. I don't think you're going to go wrong. And it depends on what type of trader you are. If you're an investor, you're going to be in it for a long time, and now is a good time to start buying in, I think. We could go down to 1,500. We could go to 2,100. We could go down to 700. I mean, but in the long haul, if you're in it for the really long haul, I don't think you're going to look back and realize, man, why did I get in at 35, 3,600 when Bitcoin is 20, 30,000, 50,000, possibly 100,000 or more. So look at it big picture and realize that, okay, so if it goes down to 1,800 and you buy in here instead, okay, so you missed out on a, potentially a couple $1,000 difference. But if it goes up to 50,000 or 60,000 or whatever the case may be, is it that big of a deal in the big picture, really? So it's one thing to think about. So I'm going to be getting into a lot more technicals on this stuff in future videos, reviewing some other type of coins, Litecoin in particular. Decided to start this channel up because I have some friends that are just now getting into this, and they've never really learned how to read charts before. And I've learned a lot of stuff over the past year and a half that's helped me kind of understand what charting is. And I don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything. So if you guys know of something that I should be covering, please, by all means, leave comments below and let me know. If you guys would like me to review a different coin, by all means, leave it in the comments and let me know. I plan on doing a video probably every 3 to 4 days, so keep checking back for that. This is my first one, so I'm kind of new to this whole arena, so bear with me as I'm trying to get used to all this stuff. So anyway, if you like the contents, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, and then the notification bell below it or beside it, and that way you can get the videos as soon as they come out. But until then, I will see you in the next video.